Salve, salve! Sejam bem-vindas e bem-vindos. Eu sou o professor Léo Braga e este é o Trampolim, o seu podcast sobre o mundo do trabalho. Esta é uma produção da área de gestão e negócios e da rádio 021, aqui do Centro Universitário IBMR, da Ânima Educação, no Rio de Janeiro. Pessoal, nós estamos na segunda temporada do Trampolim e se você curte o Trampolim, segue a gente lá no Spotify. Se você curte o Trampolim, se inscreve lá no canal do YouTube. Faça o Trampolim chegar a mais universitários ao redor do Brasil. Hoje eu converso com dois convidados internacionais sobre mobilidade internacional. Converso com a professora Ivet Tileva e o professor Milen Markov, ambos da Universidade de Economia Nacional e Mundial, em Sofia, Bulgária. A professora Tileva é professora-chefe do Departamento de Relações Econômicas Internacionais e o professor Markov é diretor de Assuntos Internacionais. Eles falarão conosco sobre o que significa a rica experiência de estudar no exterior. So, hi everyone, please be very welcome to our Trampoline podcast. Today we talk to two international guests about student mobility. Professor Ivet Tileva and Professor Milen Markov, both from the University of National and World Economy, UNWE, from Sofia City, Bulgaria. Professor Tileva is Chief Assistant Professor at International Economic Relations Department, and Professor Markov is Director of International Affairs. So, Professor Tileva, Professor Markov, thank you very much for this kind attention to take part in this trampoline episode. How have you been?
Dear Professor Braga, thank you very much for your invitation. We are glad to be here with you.
It's very nice to be a part of this wonderful project of inspiring young people to get a little bit more international scope in their activities.
That's all about it. That's all about it. Go international. Well, and let's go for a talk. This talk here. Sometimes I do believe sometimes our students get some doubts, have some doubts concerning going abroad for student mobility, and I do believe they and their families get to worry about going abroad, going to new places, knowing new people, getting a new routine. That's a pretty new world for them, going abroad, leaving Brazil for some time. And I do believe that we should encourage this kind of thing. So to do that, to encourage our students to go abroad, I'd like to ask you some things here. First of all, in your view, and I should ask first Professor Tileva, what professional and interpersonal skills do students develop by taking part in, by participating in international experience? Professor Tileva, please.
Okay, thank you for your question, Professor Braga. First of all, before we talk about the professional skills, I would like to make a brief definition of what international skills are. Actually, what do I understand about the international skills? First of all, it is something which is connected with communicating with different nations, right? If you need to communicate in an appropriate way, first of all, you need to understand very well the behavior of the different nation you're communicating with. First of all, we are having a lot of aspects. We're very different. For example, we have different kind of culture, different kind of temper, different kind of religions, and these are differences which are very essential to know. If you have the knowledge about these differences, you can acquire even a good professional skills in the international business, for example. Probably your students are aiming this, something like an international career, right? And if I need to give some examples, and if I should be honest, a lot of negotiations in the international business, they failed just because people cannot understand the other side. They're not able to understand these cultural differences, and they're reflecting on their communication. And now I would like to give the words to my colleague, and he's going to give you some more information about the mobility programs of our university.
Right.
Let's do it, Mr. Markov. Let's go.
Right. Thank you, Professor Tileva. I think Professor put it very eloquently. We need to be able to understand one another. And it's quite critical for young people, we do believe, to kind of dip their toes and make their first step in this process by taking a mobility abroad. Our university is very internationalized. We work with over 300 universities all across the world, and we send students all around for 1 or 2 semesters during their bachelor's and their master's studies. And basically 99.9% come back with real experiences, with a lot of knowledge, very well developed interpersonal skills, and a good understanding of the culture of a different country. And we have to keep in mind that many countries are multicultural. So going, for instance, even if they would visit Brazil, there's quite a lot of differences within the regions of Brazil. So it is good to put an impetus to have a stimulus for them to travel, to go around, maybe find a short-term job, not only to study, but actually try to feel the entire spirit of the country and get that ingrained into their own personality. So eventually, as Professor Tileva was saying, they could dip into this well of knowledge and experiences and use it during negotiations and during international relations all around the world. And there are the cultural differences, but there are also the interpersonal differences. And all of these things are important for young professionals to be able to master. So going international is really critical. Another point I wanted to make, very briefly to touch upon, is the fact that our university is part of a European-wide university alliance of 10 universities from all around Europe. And our students have the possibility to get a European diploma having studies at all of these 9 universities. We have different international programs. So we definitely prescribe to the notion that internationalization in this globalized world is one of the key aspects of learning and becoming a well-rounded professional.
So, and what you both are telling me is that there's perhaps a preparation to go abroad. I mean, in terms of knowing, as Mrs. Tileva was talking to us, knowing the culture before going to this place, before going to this country, and get ready for this. That's what about negotiations are. You get ready before the negotiation, knowing the other people culture, the other people habits, and so on. So there's a job to be done before going to another place, going abroad, is knowing that culture. And well, this should be added to this kind of experience Mr. Markov was talking to us about, having some time, not only studying and perhaps having a short-time jobs. And so how we can, in being abroad, we can take part in this society in the more complete way, so we can exchange culture, learn about the culture, the local, the natives, the habitats, and so on. That's a pretty interesting to do, especially if you are I guess you are blessed over there in Europe. You have so many countries nearby and so many chances to go abroad that we don't have here in Brazil. We have, of course, we have 23 countries here in South America, but we have only Portuguese and Spanish chances to going abroad here, since the culture and the language, and that's a pretty rich thing in Europe. Yeah, I guess that our students should go to Bulgaria and should go to UNWE once it's possible in the future, in the coming future, of course. Well,
we will be very happy to. I just want to say we will be very happy to welcome these students.
Thank you very much. They will be glad to be there too. Tell me one thing. Do you believe this experience, I mean, in terms of even short job time and cultural exchanges, this kind of experience, there are too much interpersonal experience. Do you believe this experience really contributes to students' entry in the job market? I mean, what they got learned from interpersonal experience does help them to go to job market. In what ways? How going abroad help students in job market?
Okay, can we start?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep talking and talking. Go on.
Definitely, this is a great experience. If I should be honest, this is one of my favorite topics. In our university, I would like to share that students can gain international experience and not only going abroad. For example, we're one of the universities with the strongest business connections. I mean, we have a lot of partnership with different companies, and most of them are international companies. Why this is important? They are regularly coming here in our university, and they are giving an opportunity to our students. What kind of opportunities? For example, be part of master classes, be part of different cases developments, for example, some kind of games which are based on a practical data. And all of these initiatives are giving an opportunity to our students to develop some more professional skills. For example, I can give you one example actually from my experience. A few years ago, a person from a very, very high managerial position from a big international company based in Finland came here. He insisted to come here to a lecture and to invite the students to participate in a competition for students, which was developed by their company. If I should be honest, the students were a little bit stressed just because they said, "Oh, this is a person on a so high position. How we're going to communicate with him?" This was a great experience. You're laughing, but it was a great experience just because they saw how. Yes, he was so easygoing with them. And after this lecture, they said, we're much more relaxed. We feel confident to express ourselves. And this is a way to gain international experience. When they go to job interviews, they're one step ahead. Why? Just because they not only have this in these practices in their CVs, it is reflected in their behavior. And this is something which is very beneficial, I believe.
Certainly. I was laughing because that's incredible. You have the opportunity to have a big director, a high position company person in your university, and the students get the kind of worry and scared. Oh my God, how am I going to do? How am I going to talk to him? And they are involved. They are in this process, and I guess it's just like bringing the market into the university. And that's really important for the students. Certainly it is. Wow, I get really happy to hear that from you. And we're just trying to do this here too. We should opportunize that the market goes to university and goes to the classroom and talk to the students so they can feel a kind of a little bit of the market over there inside the classroom. That's amazing. That's incredible. And in terms of more general, more concerning general improvements about going abroad, what could you say in terms of critical thinking, in terms of ethical awareness, and in terms of social engagement? How going abroad in a student's mobility help with these kind of things?
Okay.
Well, just in general, if you think about it, and speaking out of my own personal experience, when you're abroad, you're faced with interesting new challenges. You're faced with a lot of new propositions, and you have to be able to navigate through those challenges and understand your surroundings. And this is a great opportunity which helps you build your character, but also helps you increase that critical thinking capability of being able to weigh between different options and actually considering them and figuring out what will be the best way forward. So it is definitely quite important to be able to build that in within yourself, and be exposed to situations where you are out of your comfort zone and you have to think out of the box, maybe put on different hats in terms of maybe being a student, but also if you are working, you have to be an employee of that company, so you have to manage different different tasks during your daily routine, and it all helps build your character. And again, coming back to the interpersonal skills, if I just may add one interesting fact about it, the whole world talks about the 30-second elevator pitch, during which a student, if they were to go into the elevator with the CEO, they have to be able to impress them within 30 seconds, so that the CEO, pays attention to them, or maybe change the entire trajectory of their career. So if you don't have that in you, or if you cannot build these skills through going abroad, through internationalization, it's very difficult to navigate the corporate waters and be able to climb the career ladder. So it is, in our opinion, really important to expose yourself to different cultures, to challenge yourself, and to understand how other people think and what is their argumentation for it. So this is my 2 cents.
If you think that, thank you very much. And if you think that the company is going abroad, the companies are global. They are global companies. That makes pretty much sense of going abroad as well as a person and an employee. So I can take some chance in these global companies. Certainly, it's just about it. Just about how we can justify to their families and to the students that is really important going abroad and have this kind of experience. So we can simply develop this kind of critical thinking and some kind of global citizenship concerning the subject of the world. That's pretty amazing that you're doing this too in Bulgaria, in Sofia city. Mrs. Tileva, Mr. Professor Markov, Professor Tileva, I'd like to thank you very much for this rich opportunity to be here with us. I am pretty sure that all our students here in Brazil is going to enjoy very much this kind of conversation. We're going to record, we're going to make the production of this record here, and next week, 1 week from now, we're going to send this to you, and we're going to publish this episode here, okay? Thank you very much for this kind of conversation here.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for us both.
Yes, definitely, and lots of greetings towards Brazil.
And you are doing a great job. I fully understand how much effort you give for such a kind of project to be every week. So congratulations.
It's not easy at all. And I should tell you, this is our first episode that is going international, They have international guests here. So you are making history in Transforma. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.